Hello, everyone. If you've ever used an adult timeout during a disagreement with your partner, you may have discovered something interesting. The timeout worked. You calmed down. You regulated your emotions. Your heart rate came down. You stopped saying things you might regret. But then you found yourself wondering, now what? Many couples return from a timeout only to restart the same argument. The problem isn't that the timeout failed. The problem is that emotional regulation is only the first step. Today, I'd like to share a simple process that can help couples move from emotional reactivity toward connection. Let's begin with a common experience. Suppose you tell your partner, "I'm overwhelmed." That's a real experience, but it often contains several different pieces bundled together. Rather than stopping at the word overwhelmed, let's unpack it. First, ask yourself, what am I telling myself? Perhaps you're thinking, they don't understand me. I have too much to do. They don't appreciate what I'm doing. I can't take much more of this. Notice that these are thoughts, interpretations, and conclusions. Next, ask, what emotion am I experiencing? Many people say they are overwhelmed when they are actually experiencing anxiety, hurt, frustration, anger, sadness, disappointment, or even shame. Then ask, what do I feel pulled to do? This is an important question. When we are hurt, we may feel pulled to criticize. When we are angry, we may feel pulled to attack. When we are discouraged, we may feel pulled to withdraw. When we are anxious, we may feel pulled to avoid. The urge itself is not the problem. The question is what happens if we act on it. So the next question becomes, if I follow this urge, where is it likely to lead? If I criticize, will that bring us closer? If I withdraw, will that help us understand each other? If I become defensive, will that solve the problem? Sometimes the answer is yes. Often the answer is no. This is where many couples make a powerful shift. Instead of asking, what do I feel like doing right now? They begin asking, what kind of relationship are we trying to create? Notice that this is a different question. Many couples focus only on the individual. What do I want? Others focus only on the relationship. What do I have to give up to keep the peace? Neither extreme tends to work very well. Healthy relationships are not built by self-sacrifice. They are not built by self-centeredness either. And they are certainly not built by saying, that's just the way I am. My partner will have to accept it. A healthy relationship requires growth from both people, not becoming someone else, not abandoning yourself, but taking small steps toward the relationship you want to build. So after a timeout, I encourage couples to ask one additional question. What shared value are we trying to create together? Perhaps it is trust, friendship, partnership, mutual caring, emotional closeness, deep connection, building a meaningful life together. Once you identify that shared value, ask, what small step can I take right now that moves us toward it? Not a grand gesture, a small step. Perhaps speaking more gently, perhaps asking a question instead of making an accusation, perhaps acknowledging your partner's perspective before defending your own, perhaps staying engaged in the conversation for 5 more minutes rather than withdrawing. These small moments matter. Over time, they become the building blocks of connection. The goal of a timeout is not simply to stop fighting. The goal is to create enough space between the emotion and the action that you can choose your response. When you understand your thoughts, identify your emotions, notice your urges, consider the likely consequences, and reconnect with your shared values, you create the opportunity to respond intentionally rather than react automatically. And that is often where meaningful change begins. Thank you for watching.